Good to go.
All right. Welcome to Urban Innovators Real Talk. I'm your host, Greg. I'm here with our own in the Empire superstar NFL player, Shareece Wright.
How you doing, man? How you doing? Man, chilling, trying to stay warm.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. I know, man.
This weather be changing like it ain't nothing, man.
Yeah, I don't know which one we got to run from, the virus or the rain, you know what I'm saying? I was in the boat yesterday going home.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, man. So how's everything going with you, man?
Everything is good, man. Everything is copacetic. You know, everything's under control. You know, just getting everything in order, trying to stay sane and keep my spirits high, man. So, I mean, I'm blessed. So I can't complain.
Yeah,
man. I can't complain.
I know, man. I was just checking out some of your status and everything, man. You've been blessed, and you always, and you in the blessings, you know. So how do you do that? How do you stay into your blessings and
staying connected, man? I'm a spiritual person, so I like to stay one with the universe and with God and myself personally. I tell people all the time, I spend a lot of time with Shareece. I get to know him and know who he is. And that's like, at the end of the day, it was always just me. I had my family, obviously, but a lot of times I was on my own trying to make it and trying to succeed at a young age, catching a city bus by myself. And just thinking about those times where I was spending time with myself as a kid, not really understanding that I had God with me the whole time. And as I got older, I realized, like, man, God was with me, you know, the whole time. He's been my father. He just wasn't there physically, but he's always guided me and kept me away from, you know, falling into, you know, what can happen. And growing up in San Bernardino, we all know how it is out here, and it's not every day that, you know, people make it out. So.
Yeah, out of them trenches.
Yeah, straight trenches, man. And I remember those times, man. I was just reflecting on my way down baseline, seeing all those puddles, man. I remember having to walk from school and make it through those puddles, and there wasn't no making it through. You got to walk right through it. There wasn't no jumping over it. You get home soaking wet, man. So it's been a blessing, man, to be here today.
So the discipline, because you had to have a whole lot of discipline, you know, in accomplishing what you accomplished. And gathering that discipline was based on, you know what I'm saying, I was saying in one of your earlier interviews, you know, was based on moms raising you and your siblings. Right.
I mean, just using that as motivation, you know, just remembering when we went through in our household, seeing death and you know, on the street we lived on, it was probably like 6 people who died on that street during that time, growing up as a kid and just, you know, trying to get us away from that and watching my mom struggle to raise 6 kids by herself, you know what I mean, and not really understanding why she was doing it on her own, you know, the frustration, but just more motivation to make it out, which kept me disciplined enough because I wanted it that bad. You know, I tell people all the time I wanted it that bad, so it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard because how much I wanted it.
Oh man, and and including the gifts, you know, that you have. Now you have to be gifted, I mean, actually to make it, and you know what I'm saying, to do what you got to play in the NFL, feel me?
Right.
So and combining them two, you know what I'm saying, combining that discipline, that determination, and that gift.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, to allow you to catapult towards college, USC. You know what I'm saying? Then the NFL. I mean, it takes a lot, man. It takes
a lot of understanding, like knowing that talent was something that I had. Just discovering that. Yeah. Like like you said, we all got talents. I believe we all are blessed with some type of special talent. I was just fortunate to figure that out at a young age. When I first picked up a football, I just knew what to do with it. It wasn't a question about, you know, how to juke or how. I just knew how to do it. And as I got older, I realized like this was something I just was blessed to do, and I just stuck with it.
Man, and it was good. You made a good point about especially the psychological, emotional roller coasters that we go through.
Right.
And a lot of youngsters out there that's going through them psychological, emotional issues, and how you stay strong in connecting with that. Feel me?
Right.
And didn't sway from that. So a lot of the youngsters that's going through that process, and it's not the physical process, it's the like the principalities and emotional and psychological things that we go through. How do they stay strong? Where they? And I know you pulled it from your upbringing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, your mom raising you. So a youngster out there that's going through that, what do they have to channel? What kind of advice do you got them to channel into that?
Man, not being biased or anything, but to be honest, is just that that relationship with the Lord is one of those things that I feel like is missing a lot in society. And because like my big mama was praying for me and she was preaching God to me, not even knowing as a kid what that was, but it stayed in my mind, and when she would tell me stuff, it stuck with me, so I would think about it from time to time, things she told me when I was thinking about doing something, and I had a conscience, in a sense. I had a conscience of thinking about what God wants from me, or what does God think of me doing what I'm doing. And I feel like with these youngsters is just that they got to get connected spiritually to have that conscience, to be able to, get those answers. And I feel like God is the one that gave me the answers when I pray for those, to know what to do when you don't have a dad there to like sit down with you and have that manly conversation. Who do you go to? My mom, she couldn't talk to me like a man. She's my mom. You know what I mean? She's a mother. She couldn't really see that manly perspective. So who else could I go to? And I had to, get connected with the man above.
So I know, like, 2020, I know it's off the hook right now, especially out on the streets. So for somebody that's young, right, and to be able to transfer information over to them, right? So how do we go back, transferring that information over to them to have them where they can be successful or reach their goals or fulfill their mission? Because right now it's like it's just buck wild.
The best thing we can do is just lead by example, man. Honestly, and this is us doing this is one of those things of us leading by example and getting this out there to them so they can hear us and know what's going on. A lot of times it's hard to get guys' attention and get them to even listen to you, to even take the knowledge that you have for them, man. And best thing we can do is just, like I said, lead by example in our actions and what we do, And I have a lot of siblings and cousins that I have to lead by example. And a lot of times I got to show them more than I can tell them. I got to show them so they can believe in it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about cousins to actually lead by example, because I was going to bring up, your cousin Tracy Bucks.
Right.
Everybody know Choke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
USC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how was that, how did that affect you growing up, knowing that Choke went through USC? We had Choke, Jerome Tyler, Ryan Knight, go through USC. Yeah. So how was that a role model? How did that affect you as growing up, knowing that people that you knew personally?
It gave me a little bit of more hope, a little more faith that it can happen, being that, someone so close was able to make it, and hearing their stories and understanding what they went through and how it didn't go exactly how people hoped it went, but just use that as a motivation to do it right and do it better and stay focused and not let nothing come between, like me going to college and not being afraid of sacrificing my personal time with family and going on a mission and completing that mission, and don't be the one that's got sent back home and be that story that he couldn't handle it or he didn't make it. He went to USC and nothing happened from it. You know what I mean? Didn't want to be that story. I didn't want to be that story like a lot of guys are, and it was just kind of change the culture, change the mentality, of the culture by, not accepting failure when you're in a position to succeed.
Failure is not an option.
It's definitely not.
Mm-hmm. So how did you deal with, or do you even grasp that, or even pay attention to expectations? Because I know a lot of youngsters, and especially a lot of people they set their expectations. You know what I'm saying? Right. Especially for other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when it don't come through, there's resentment, there's everything else. So as far as expectations, how did you deal with the expectations, even when it comes to family?
Man, only people that I expected anything from at some point in my life was myself. You know what I mean? For me, and of course people expecting things from me, but I have to know that at the end of the day, like, I'm the only one that got to sleep with and live with my decisions and things that happen in my life and how it transpired. Anybody can have expectation or have an opinion on what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, but at the end of the day, it's my life. It's not theirs, so you kind of got to not really worry about what people going to say or feel about you or, their expectations on you. You got to have your own self-driven goals, and if you achieve those or not, that's on you. And you can live with your expectations for yourself and not what other people, expect from you. Or
and vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa, right? And those people shouldn't feel the same way. They don't expect nothing from me that you don't even expect from yourself.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. You know what I mean?
And I see some of your videos, you strong on family.
Yeah.
I see that. I mean, and that's, I think that's a strong point. I think that's a gift because most people that to succeed, I mean, to come back and be strong for family, be there for family is, I mean, I think that's the one ultimate gifts, ultimate blessings.
Right, man. And that stems from my big mama and my pawpaw and, you know, my mom and my aunts and uncles, and they raised us like that. You know what I mean? When you heard about us, they knew we was coming together in a pack. You know what I mean? And you fight one of us, you gotta fight us all. And that stimulates from.
It was like the wild west.
Yeah, man, definitely was, and that stimulates from our moms and, you know, our uncles, and, you know, and that's how we was brought up. So that's all I really know. You know what I mean? And like I said, I want to sleep good at night, and that's for me. I'm able to do that if I know I'm doing what I can for my family. You know.
So how do you take that inside the NFL, right? How do you take that mentality inside the NFL? Where, I mean, where it keeps you stable, you know what I'm saying, keep you grounded.
Right.
But those principles that you take inside and have them relationships with them. Have you ever felt like, man, I mean, some of these guys is just way out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard that it's very rare that you really have connections with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Each team, there's a couple guys that you're gonna connect with, and that's it. Like you said, a lot of guys they don't think like you. They just have different mentalities, and it's just those guys that you meet and you connect with. And it was on every team that I've been on, there was at least 2 or 3 guys that I've built that relationship with, and they're probably gonna be in my life for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? And outside of like my best friends that I grew up with and played with, but it's rare though that you meet people who have the same like morals and standards that you have. I got some crazy stories about people, man, guys from different places, and you know, it's just totally different. Culturally, it's different, you know, in different places. You know, guys that are from the South is. You know, we from California, we're a lot different, you know, different type of people for real. And you learn that about people. And,
you actually expand your mind,
right.
Dealing with other people from different states and different cities, and actually expand your mind to different things and say, well, man, what we was really going through or what we is not really compared to some of the things.
Gives you a perspective, a different perspective, you know what I mean? It's, a lot of people are like, one-sided because they don't have another perspective. They've never seen another perspective to even like see it in a different way than what, so they only see it in one way, and it's gonna be that until they're like able to versatile those perspectives of situations and people and why people do what they do. It's a lot of different reasons and different, you know, things that go into that. So perspective is everything, you know, and when you get to learn about different people and see other things and see what other people go through, and then you hear people like, man, only if you knew what these people was going through over here, if you would have seen this, you wouldn't be saying that right now, because you don't have that perspective to be like, dang, it's really not that bad for me. Like, I really got it better than a lot of other people. But if you never really pay attention to that perspective, you'll just think, oh, everything's all bad. It's the worst ever. You know what I mean? Like, nobody got it worse than me. You don't never see that. You know?
I think that's how we kind of counsel ourselves by that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we don't see a different perspective, or we don't have a leveling stick to actually level our mentality to. So we should try to start adopting that self-pity,
Right.
You know what I'm saying, about our situations, our conditions, and our environment, and say, you know what, instead of going outside of it, seeing something different, and going outside of the circle, knowing there's something different, our terminology may be different,
right.
You know. And I think what's going on in a lot of urban communities is that because we don't leave outside of our front door to see that it's better, there's something better, you know what I'm saying? And the gift that you got is a gift that can catapult, can do something.
Right,
feel me?
Do something for you.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's what's going on with a large amount of our community, because like you said, a lot, like especially in the urban communities where we come from. A lot of our youngsters fall into that trap,
right?
Because I can empathize with it because I had that same type of mentality, you know,
right?
Where I fell in that trap, where I felt a lack of self-worth, or you know, we gained some type of autonomous mentality that don't nobody care about us,
right.
We govern ourselves,
right?
And, you know what I'm saying? We're just like crabs in a bucket,
right?
You feel me?
Right?
And today, be able to have role models come in there and show and define different situation, different avenues,
right.
Something that we need.
Yeah, we definitely, and I mean that's my goal and my mission. It's like I have all this information And all I want to do is give it out. I just want to give it to people that I know if they had it, it could possibly help them. Because I was just fortunate enough and blessed enough to be put in these situations and to be able to learn these things. Everybody didn't have that like opportunity that I had, in a sense of just being in the right place at the right time. And like I said, I serve a higher power, so I feel like he's been directing me into this path and this, directions that I've been going, because he knew what I would do when I made it. And it was not like an accident that, it happened. I got to make it that way by following through what I know I'm supposed to do, and that's give back and bless other people and give people so they can bless other people, and the blessings just get bigger and bigger. And that's what I want to do for my life, is just bless people and help people. I needed a lot of help to make it to where I made it to, man. And people don't understand that. Like, a lot of people helped me along the way and did little things and told me little things and gave me these little points and stuff that stuck with me to help me make it. A lot of people did. So every time I can kick knowledge or give somebody some advice, I try my best to do it, because it can help them just how it helped me. So
That's amazing.
It's 15. It's 15 minutes. You want me to stop that one?
Yeah. Save it. You push it to save, because we're going to play. Save it. Right on the side. Yeah. Save it. You put save. Yeah. All right. Then we put save, push the white button. The big white one. On the other side, the middle one. The big white middle one, no up.
Oh, okay.
No, the up right there, right where the wire is. The big white round button.
Oh, this?
Yeah,
oh,
so
okay.
they cut it off.
All right, it's saving now.
Yeah, they cut it off. I should turn it all the way off so you don't have to worry about it. And see that button on the side? You don't have to cut the iPhone off, yeah. And slide it, yeah, so nobody can worry about no phone calls.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stop right there. Cool.
On here, because at a young age, how you see things already, man. You know what I'm saying? And if it was more youngsters gifted like that and had that foresight, man, it would be beautiful.
Right. And it's
All right. Hey, just give me one more clap. Cool. All right, I'm good to go.
Yeah, we back with the Urban InnoVators Real Talk. I'm your host, Greg. I'm here with NFL in the Empire superstar, Shareece.
yeah, man. Yeah.
And I was just speaking, man. I was like your insight is it amazes me. You know what I'm saying? It's gifted. That's something that's a gift.
Right.
Because you don't see a lot of youngsters with that insight.
Right.
And for you to be able to utilize that insight, you know what I'm saying, to move forward. Feel me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To and do what you do in NFL, man, is a beautiful thing.
Right.
So,
Yeah, man, it just reflects, this goes back to just, understanding, like I said, who I am, man, and having that relationship with myself, man. It's like the biggest thing for me is just, I gotta know who I am to even know how to like deal with myself and have and know how to talk to my conscience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And know who Shareece really is and
Self-talk.
what is it that I go to dinner by myself. I go to lunch, breakfast, and I go to the movies. I spend a lot of time with myself, and it's rare that I tell people this, because people, I don't want them to take it the wrong way, but it's one of those things where I sit at dinner and I have a conversation with Shareece.
yes.
And I talk to him, you know what I mean, and talk to him through situations that he's going through at that time, and kind of step away from myself and be that person that I can conversate with, and not going to be biased towards myself. I'm going to be real and honest with Shareece, right?
Yes.
They say look in the mirror and be honest with yourself, right? And be real with yourself and who you really are. And sometimes you got to really just sit down and have those verbal conversations and speak out loud, you know what I mean? And people always ask me, why you always by yourself? Because when I'm by myself, I'm getting to know who I am. I spend a lot of time, I love myself. So I spend a lot of time with myself, you know what I mean? I go shopping with myself, you know what I mean? And do a lot of these things to keep that understanding of who I am, so I'll know what I want and know how to make those decisions to get what I want, and not, be stuck with things I really don't want to be unhappy. So
you do a lot of self-meditation.
a lot
you
of
do
it,
a lot of self-meditation.
a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, because I find myself too. You tell somebody, I talk to myself. I mean, you have to self-talk to yourself.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? You reason things out in your head, because
Right.
sometimes you have that community in your
Right.
head that's
Right.
not always sane.
Right.
So to be able to dispel something.
Right, and you gotta be by yourself a lot of the times to have those conversations. If you're always around people, you can't have those conversations with yourself around people because they're going to be, and people are not that comfortable to have a conversation with themselves in front of another person. Like a lot of people ain't even comfortable having that conversation with themselves, period.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Let alone like do it in front of somebody else. So you had to get to that point to understand that you have to do that. Like people got to know that that's something that's very important to like you reaching like your goal or reaching your full potential is understanding who you are and what is it that your calling is and what is it that you're here to do on this earth. What is your purpose? What are you doing in search for your purpose in this world to give you something to live for? You know what I mean? Like it's easy for me because it was easy for me to wake up every day and work hard because I had like a goal that I know I was like trying to get to. I knew I had something, an end goal. A lot of people don't even have that, so they're not living with a purpose. It's kind of like they just waking up and not like, today I wake up, I got to work out because I know I got to be in shape for what's coming up next. Like I'm gonna have to play football, so I had something to wake up and do every day and like work for. A lot of people don't have that. They have a job that they work for to pay bills, but where is that job going? Do they have hope of becoming the manager, the owner of this company? Do they have anything more that's coming from this job that they're working? Are they working in this job to become the manager, or do they have those type of goals within or not? Are they just working to make for that paycheck every other week or pay those bills? Like, what is it that you're really working for and thinking about? So I always challenge people just to always set goals for yourself, you know what I mean? And give yourself something to like wake up and wake up for, something a little bit more than just the normal of making money. It has to be something a little bit more than that.
And I believe too, you always have to utilize yourself as a company, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you have to be able to put things in this perspective, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you have your different responsibilities,
Right.
organizing your own head. So you have to be able to do that. And you made a good point too, man. You made a good point. And I think, and I find myself a lot of times reflecting, sometimes they ask, what are you doing? I'm just here, I'm just laying down there reflecting.
Right.
Reflecting on my day, reflecting on my thoughts,
Right.
reflecting on what I want to do in life, reflecting on my goals, how far I went, how far I backed up. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to analyze those things so I know exactly at what point do I need to make some adjustments.
Right.
Or make some amends.
Right.
Feel me?
Right.
And I think that's just organizing like a business or anything, just organizing yourself in that form.
Right, and becoming strategic is chess, right? They say, and you gotta every move, it gotta be strategically like positioned and made.
So what you know about
You
chess?
know what I mean? I don't play chess, never played chess, which is ironic that and that's one I have chess pieces up throughout my house. You know what I mean? I never sat down and played chess, but I understand chess. The game of it, and understand that every move is strategic, and sometimes chess games can last a couple days, weeks, months. It can last a long time.
Yeah.
That's life. Sometimes those decisions and those moves, you got to sit back and wait till it's the right time to make those moves. You can't just be making moves that's gonna set yourself up for failure. So it takes a lot of deep thought. You got to be 5-6 steps ahead.
Man, that's amazing.
A lot of times.
It's amazing that you haven't played chess, but you understand the whole concept of chess. Because I played chess, and I used to play chess for years.
Yeah.
And then you can go down to Santa Monica, down there with old men, be down there.
Because your mind, you got one of those minds that.
In life, you do this, and when you relate it to life, it's the same way.
The same way.
You have to be able to know when to move these pieces. You have to be able to know when to move things.
How good are you at chess?
Man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'll take your soups.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do is play chess. I don't play cards. I don't play dominoes.
Right. So
all I do is play
I never really even, had conversation with anybody who was like a big chess person. You know what I mean? To even like talk to me about chess. Like
you don't really find people out here that play chess. So I haven't really played it. Like my
as you
brother,
said, you would go to LA and probably play.
When I was up in LA, I used to go to Santa Monica.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and go down there and play. But my brother played chess. He's the only one, but I really didn't have time. Like you mentioned, what was important is that when you're on a divine mission, right? You're on a purpose. You know what I'm saying? You don't get tired and you're on that course. And I've been on that course,
Right.
that divine purpose.
Right.
And I was just talking to somebody the other day about, you know what, I don't even get tired. And you know why I don't get tired? Because there's a divine purpose in what I'm doing.
Right.
Feel me?
Right.
And the service work that we do. You
Right.
know? So we don't need that rest. We don't need all that extra rest that we think we need when we working for
Right.
him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
gonna give you the strength. He gonna give you the strength that you need, you know. For me, a lot of times sleep is a waste of time. If you ask me, that's just my perspective and how I feel about it, because I'm young enough and blessed with my health to be able to, I don't need 8-10 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping that much. I feel like I'm falling behind because it's hard to get anything done while you sleep besides rest, right? And I could take a little nap throughout the day to rest. I don't really need to be sleep for 8 hours, where I could use those 8 hours to really be productive and exercise my mind. And I don't even remember my dreams a lot of the time. So it's just like, what was all that sleep for? You know, and sometimes you need it. My body catches up sometimes, and sometimes I have to get away and go check into a hotel and just really relax, and after grinding for so hard. But a lot of times my family see me like, man, how are you did you sleep last night, but you up? It's just like when I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing it for. It's that it's easy for me to hop up and get going and take care of what has to get done. I have to do it. So, you know, it's up to me. I can't count on nobody else to get it done. And, you know, like you said, I don't need too much sleep. You know, I don't.
And that's what I tell them all the time. I said, you know what, I average 4 hours, might average 4 hours of sleep.
Same here.
You know, a day, you know, and enjoy and love what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, I can empathize on that, you know. Well, I had enough sleep back in the day.
Right.
You know, I was sleep, not conscious about
you weren't conscious about what was going on.
What was going on.
Said I slept enough. I'm
woke
woke now.
You know, I'm woke now, you know.
Yeah.
So that's where I was at. So what is your next move? What are you doing now?
Oh, man, I got a lot of stuff going on, man. I'm kind of, you know, I'm on a mission to really build an empire, man. And I didn't play football last year. It was one of those things where, you know, it was a calling that was called upon me, and I was people came calling asking for my help, you know what I mean? And I took a mission on helping these people, which is my family. And I gave a football for that, you know, last year to help build this empire for our future and for our kids, man. And that's just, you know, helping them understand the formation of a business and teaching them that we can operate as a business, as a family, and really be our own entity and really build an empire where we're working for ourselves and really controlling our market and controlling everything around us, because we have the people to do it. We have the bodies. So it's like, if we have people to work these jobs, we can create these businesses, our own businesses, and work for ourselves and hustle and grind for our own business. And be able to leave something for our kids. And it's like, if I don't leave nothing for my family when I leave here, I really I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And that's what I'm living for, is to give back and leave something for my little cousins and my son and his kids and my grandkids and my great-great-grandkids. And nobody left nothing for us, right? That's why we had to get it out the mud, and I appreciate that. I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. But it doesn't have to be that way. And we can change that by what we leave for our kids in the future. That's my little cousins. It's a lot of us, and they're growing every year. It's more and more coming. Yeah. So it's just like the more and more kids come, the more and more obligated I am to complete this mission that I'm on, to leave something for them. So they're able to go to college and have college paid for and stuff like that. And that's my thing. I want to make sure these kids are able to go off to college when that time comes, if that's something that they want to do, to have the opportunity to do that and not have to worry about how we're going to pay for it and this and that. Nah, if you want to go, this is what we're going to make it happen for you, because that's our role in your life. We all didn't ask to be brought here. You know, I didn't ask to be brought into this world. You know what I mean? My mom did the best she can, you know, to raise me, and you know, and I have a son now, and job is to provide for him and give him the best opportunity. He didn't ask to be here. It's up to me to lead him, direct him, and show him the way in this world that I already lived through. You know what I mean? So if I'm not giving him that wisdom, I'm hurting my son by not giving him the knowledge that I have, because I've already been through and experienced life. So if I don't give him my experience and teach him that, you know, I'm disserving him. You know what I mean? Like, I need to serve him and give him that. Whether you do what you want to do, but at least Daddy gave you the map to the road to success.
You can make some choices.
Right. Like, son, you got to take your SATs and make sure things that my mom didn't tell me, but I was able to learn these things because I had good people around me. My mom didn't know I needed to take a SAT to get a scholarship. So how could she teach me that? How could she be on me about that if she don't have that knowledge to even know that? So I can't blame her because no one taught her that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's whatever she knew, and that was it. And whatever she learned, but I can't expect her to know it all because no one was teaching her it all. And I was able to learn these things, so I'm able to give this to my cousins and brothers and sisters so they know, like, if you want to go to college, make sure you take your SAT. It's not going to be a question. Like, they going to know this because there's somebody who experienced it before, and like let them know what that was.
That's amazing too. You know, like you said, we need to go outside of that circle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, to be able to know there's other things that's different.
Right.
And you being outside of that circle where they know there's other things different.
Right.
Like you giving back.
Right.
And just being a human being is the example of coming out of that circle. It don't have to be an environment. Just as a human being, I'm giving you back. This is what my experience is.
Right.
And we try to do that a lot in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying, in the community. You know, by our experience. Right. And letting the youngsters know, check this out. This is not the route to go, bro. Right. I experienced this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, this is like the glow ball effect. I experienced this, so I'm letting you know, don't take a left. You know what I'm saying? If you take a left, you're going to fall in this hole. Right. But it's your choice. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got choices. That's something that you got. Can't nobody take away from you. Right. It's choices. And you try to tell them that as much as possible. And some people are going to hear it and understand it. Some people, for me, it's like I could tell people anything and everything I want to. But if they don't trust and believe in me, it don't really matter. Like, these people that you go into these neighborhoods, probably one of the biggest problems, like, a lot of these kids have trust issues. Right? A lot of them, trust and anger, and they've been let down a lot. You know what I mean? People didn't promise them things, and it didn't happen for them. And, you know, they were told no a lot of times, and they have a lot of anger built up, and they don't really trust anybody. So it's like, you know, how do you get these kids to trust and believe in what you say? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you can have done all these things, but you need them to trust and believe in you. You need them to be able to be like, yo, I have a relationship with this man. I trust that he's telling me this because he loves me and care about me. You know what I mean? I try to tell my family that, like, I know I'm your cousin and all, but when I tell y'all stuff, I'm not telling you for, like, no reason. Like, you got to trust me that I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Believe me, because I have, like, the proof, I have the resume to show you, like, that I've been through these things in life, to have the knowledge to be able to tell you this. I'm not just, like, telling you something that I, like, thought about. I'm telling you something that I experienced and that I learned, and through the path of playing football and being a college athlete. So I need you just to trust in me and believe me when I tell you these things. But, you know, a lot of kids don't even believe in their parents. Also too, you know, just extending on that is the consistency.
Consistency,
and I mean, even with us growing up, you know what I'm saying? When you inconsistent in somebody's life, then they'll go to distrust. Right. As long as you consistent in somebody's life, now they can start having that sense of security because instead of a sense of trust, because you're consistent. Right. You know, and even with us, with our women's empowerment that we have down at our pastor Burnell Love Center Church, Tabitha and Tina, Miss Reed and them. When we deal with a lot of the unsheltered, right? You know, we feed and clothe, pass our clothes and all that. And it took a minute, but they see the consistency in us, right? You know what I'm saying? Interacting, right? Concern. And so they started opening up and gaining trust, right, in us, you know. And I think in the community, that's what it is. It's a lot of inconsistency
Right.
that goes on in the household and in the community, and we have to be very careful. I remember growing up, and pops used to say, "Don't smoke no cigarettes."
Right.
Man, but you got cigarette packs all around
Oh,
the house.
yeah.
Well, I can't smoke one.
Right.
If you got them, if they that bad, why you got
Right.
them all around the house?
Right.
See, and that's confusion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's confusion for the child that's growing up. It's like, you said don't smoke or don't drink, but you drinking.
Right.
So what is it?
Right.
Which one is it?
Right.
I mean, so we have to be aware of what we're doing.
Right.
You know, our activities,
Right.
what we're doing
Right.
when we're trying to do something that's.
That's funny you say that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I touched on earlier about just leading by example.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk all day, but your actions is really what is going to hold people over and move people is your actions. When they see, Daddy ain't told me to smoke no cigarettes, he ain't had to, ain't no cigarettes here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he don't smoke cigarettes, so we're not even, you know what I mean? It's not even, why are you even telling me
It's an
that?
issue.
Right, yeah, you can't tell me don't smoke cigarettes when you smoking cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, it's one of those things with my son. My son he's in love with, he's 6 years old, he loves guns. And at first I was against it. I'm like, I don't want my son to like guns, but he does, and it's something I can't really control. But instantly I told myself I need to teach him about it and let him know that it's okay. I can't tell him don't have guns when I have guns or don't like guns when and he asked me Daddy, why do you have a gun? One time out of nowhere, Daddy, why do you have a gun for? I'm like, it's for protection. Then he was like, but Jesus is going to protect us. Yeah. And that was my son's response. He was 5 years old. And that's what he was like, why? And I had to explain to him, Jesus created these things for us to be able to protect ourselves. And it's trying to, give him the reason why certain things are on in this world that we need to be able to protect ourselves from bad people and things like that is for the house. And, and just explain to him bad things happen and I got to protect you from people with guns because somebody else got a gun, the only way I can protect you is with one. So he understood after that and he was all for it now. But, it just goes back to just, leading by example and not telling your son or telling people around you to do something that you're not even doing or don't do something that you're doing. If you're doing it, you got to be okay with the people around you doing it too. You have to be because it just, like you said, it creates confusion. They're going to look at you like a hypocrite, right? Mm-hmm. You're telling me don't drink, but you got a whole bottle of Hennessy. Yeah. You know what I mean? While you preaching to me about not drinking, it just don't work that way. Mm-hmm. You're not being very productive. You know what I mean with that? It's just kind of just a lot of gibberish at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what other things you got as far as your businesses? You got a music.
Yeah, we have a music studio that
how's that going?
It's going good. Man, my little brother makes music, so it was one of those things that him and my little cousins they built it themselves. I kind of provided the space for them and gave them the space for it, and I helped them out, and they built it themselves. But my little brother loves music. I have a little cousins and stuff that they love music, so just giving them the opportunity to do something with their passion and their love. And I realized you guys love it. I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna support you guys' dreams and help you guys achieve these dreams. Whatever I can do to help you guys. So that's something that not only that, and we got a lot of programs that we're working on to be able to help the inner city and stuff like that, and provide that space for kids and do programs where we can have kids come in and get studio time. Kids that have dreams of being rap music artists and just being able to support people's dreams and give kids the opportunity to be able to go in a music studio and get that experience and stuff like that. And you never know what it can do for their career, so.
Man,
yeah.
That's a lot of humbleness. That's a lot of humbleness and gratitude,
Yeah, it's. I mean, I made it to be. I've been in this position for a reason, Mm-hmm. It ain't for me. I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna always be all right. It's for other people. It's for me. I really believe in grace, and giving blessings for more blessings to come to me, and so I can bless more people, and more people can bless more people. And I figure if I bless one person and he's able to bless somebody else, that's all I ask for people. I had a teacher in high school, and he would help me out a lot. Mr. McVeigh, And he was our athletic director for a while, but he helped me out. And every time he helped me, he just told me, when you get an opportunity, help somebody else.
Yeah.
That's all I ask from you. Like, I don't want nothing back from you, but when you can help somebody else. That's all I ask, and that's just, and it stuck with me. Ever since I was able, whenever I was in a position to help people, even when I wasn't like a football player or NFL player, didn't have no money, I was helping people still. You know what I mean? Regardless of what it was, whether, being a kid, I was always just wanted to help people. That was something I always just enjoyed doing. You know what I mean? It was something that never was like a thought in my mind to like help people whenever I can, whatever it is. Just whenever I feel like, I want to help or I can't help that person, because you never know when you're gonna need help. Like I said, I needed a lot of help to make it.
Now, I've seen a lot of your hard hitting up there. I reviewed a lot of your highlights. So how do you transfer that mentality over into the field where you just banging on people?
Man,
because that's like
that person right there is like that frustrated, angry kid from San Bernardino. You know what I mean? Like, that's who that football player is. You know what I mean? And that guy was, he was different. He is different. That guy on that football field, and that's where I kind of gotta like go to be that guy. I gotta go to like those thoughts of being from San Bernardino and running from people and and dodging bullets and you know what I mean, and just surviving situations and the grit and grind, man, that we had to like overcome, in my life. So I go all the way back there, and that's where that aggressiveness and that I'm gonna hit you before you hit me mentality. I'm gonna hit you harder than you hit me. I didn't like getting hit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's why I chose defense, because I can dictate how this is gonna work out. You know what I mean? You're not about to line me up and lay me out. I'm gonna line you up and hit you how I want to hit you. So, man. But I was always a hard hitter. It was just something that when I I was so scared. When I first was like doing hitting drills, I was so scared. So I'm not gonna be the one. So it's me or you. I'm just giving my all and run into you and see what happens. You know what I mean? And I remember my first hitting drill that's what it was. I hit somebody so hard, it was like the coach stopped the whole drill. Like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, and I was just like that.
Lawrence Taylor and
it was
Ronnie Lott.
It was as I got older, and I broke my neck in college, man, and my mom would always comment on me like, hitting that hard and keep your head up. And I broke my neck in college, and it wasn't even, one of those situations where it was just a freak accident, but breaking my neck in college kind of like took me away from that a lot, and I changed up the way I played a whole lot just because I understood like my body is important too, and me hitting and running into people like that, it's not helping my body. It's not healthy for me. I got to control some of this anger, some of this. Right. So it definitely like controlled me as a player. It's not being so reckless and being conscious of really just getting my job done. Like, I don't have to. They're not paying me more money for hitting people hard. Most likely I'm gonna get a penalty, or they gonna fine me or take my money. So it's not really a benefit hitting hard. That's not back then in Pop Warner and in college, but once it got past, even in college they're giving guys penalties and kicking guys out of games for hitting too hard nowadays. And I remember I had a couple penalties hitting people too hard in the game, and it just hurt us as a team. It didn't really it turned up the momentum, but it kind of hurt us because we lost 15 yards and and a first down given to the team. So kind of one of those things where it wasn't as beneficial as I thought it was.
Have you ever noticed any of it leaked out into your personal life or society? That personality?
Oh yeah, man. And in relationships, you know what I mean. That and just dealing with family and that frustration. Sometimes. That guy came out, but anger was something that I worked on in college, and I majored in sociology in college, and that was like the first time that I was able to really even like learn self-therapy and I became like a therapist to myself. That's kind of where the whole talking to yourself, all that stuff came from, being able to learn, okay, I tell people, like, studying sociology was like the best thing to happen for me. And it made so much sense to me because it's all about like relationships, it's all about people, it's all about dealing with people. No matter what you do, you got to deal with people. So if you can master that on knowing how to like feel a person's energy and being able to like not read a person, but read a person in a sense and feel like, you know, and understand these characteristics that people hold based off what they've been through in life, and you learn that. And it's not facts, right? And it's all theory, but these theories are 99.9%. You know, for me, you can't call it a fact, but that's pretty factual if you ask me in this world that we live in. There's always a slight chance of something different, but when you learn about this and I'm sitting here and learning and seeing how it's so true to my life. Just, you know, me growing up, and when you're learning about human behavior, you know, and my focus was juvenile delinquency and family structure. That was like my focus. So these are things I'm learning about, like broken homes and broken families and neighborhoods where, you know, there's a liquor store in every corner, and why this is set up like that, and how it's affecting the culture and the demographics of society, and how like certain neighborhoods was set up this way, you know what I mean? And like really learning that, like, dang, this is really like, we are really set up for like failure a lot of times, you know what I mean? And learning this and being able to forgive my dad for like not being in my life and not being there, and that helped me release a lot of anger, because that's what a lot of it was, like not understanding, like, man, like, why does my dad like not want to be here for his kids? Like, I'm like playing football, I'm doing well, like I'm a cool kid, like why is my dad not here and like wanting to be a part of this? It was a lot of anger, and more anger of like no one talking to me, no one sitting down explaining this to me, not knowing like why is things this way, why are we moving from a house to the projects, like why my mom don't have a car, like why we got to catch the city bus, like, you know, just not having an understanding about how life works and not knowing was a frustration thing. So it caused me to be angry. Going to college and learning about this stuff, it helped me like release a lot of that anger that I had built up.
So also, you were saying transferring that over, right? Transferring that anger, and you're right, a lot of us still carry that anger. You know what I'm saying? Carry that anger through not understanding our parents. You know?
Right.
And you mentioned something earlier, Ian, where, you know, they only knew what they knew.
Right.
You know, and be able to come to grips with that and not hold that resentment towards them, give us a release of some spiritual relief,
Right.
to be able to let that go. And in a few groups that I took, one Pacific is Alan, his family and friends of alcoholics, that it allowed me to reach that pinnacle in my life, which you was talking about, to be able to know people socially.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And dealing with relationships.
Right.
I think that was one of the biggest issues I had, was dealing with relationships as a child. You know, due to a lot of holding in a lot of suppressed anger and suppressed confusion. It didn't give me healthy relationships, and to be able to analyze that now and be able to respond on them now today, you know, and see that it's not that serious as I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it takes me in a direction of a lot more healthy relationships.
Right.
Even though I stand back off of relationships, I don't have as many relationships as I had, you know, as a child, growing up as a teenager.
You got the right relationships.
Yeah, it's the right relationships, and it's one of the things that I ask my higher power in our relationship: bring the people in my life you want, and take the people out of my life, and I won't hold any reservations on that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so I try to pay attention to what I ask for and
Right.
what he's bringing in my life and who he's taking. Sometimes
So you
I
know.
question it.
So you know, you got to remember I asked for this, so I have to be able to understand when he's giving me and showing me these people. I have to know how to distinguish these people. I have to be able to say, okay, this is a person that's not supposed to be in my life for those reasons. And he'll tell you, he'll let you know, because you're praying for that.
Yeah, and sometimes you might even question it.
Yeah.
You might be a person that you actually liked.
Right.
Say, man, why did you take that person? Because you can't see down the road.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, I didn't want that
Gotta
person to
trust.
be in my life,
Yeah.
but I didn't want that person in my life.
Right.
But trust what you asked
Trust.
me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, trust what you ask for. When you,
Yeah.
especially trusting the person you're asking for it from. You know,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. And when you believe, it ain't nothing. You know, nothing else that can change that.
So let's get to some of your excitements. Like, what do you like to do? I mean, as far as outside of football.
Oh man, outside of football, you said I like spending time with family. I like taking my boat out. I like jet skis and dirt bikes and things like that. Outdoor camping, things like that. I'm kind of an adventurous guy. I like a lot of like outdoor stuff. I've been taking my family camping for like the past 7 years. We've been going out for 4th of July weekend. Got them sleeping in tents and stuff like that.
Right?
It was definitely a culture shock for a lot of them, and a lot of them are still haven't even bought into it yet. But a lot of them have, so it's good. I'm trying to get everybody to buy in, man, and just tap into another, like I said, perspective of life, man. Just tap into like a different experience that is gonna open your mind in a different way. Out here putting a tent together, and it's just gonna give you a different perspective. You might not want to sleep in a tent, but just try it and see what it do for you mentally and how it like helps the rest of your life. Because it's just gonna give you a different perspective. And I feel like everybody who come and they participate, they realize that real quick. And they're like, okay, I'm happy I came, because it's good for you to be able to do stuff and you gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, oh yes.
A lot of people they're not comfortable being uncomfortable, so they stay in their comfort zone. And you're not, at your best when you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be uncomfortable. That's why you feel like you haven't made it yet. So I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still working. I'm still grinding. I'm still waking up. I'm still not sleeping. I haven't made it. I haven't figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't achieved everything that I want to achieve.
I like to say that even in the moment, in the moment that we in, what I'm saying, just being present in that moment that we in, and not thinking about tomorrow or yesterday, just living and fulfilling the moment that we in and being the best that we can be in this moment.
Right.
Is the blessing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of trying to exit that moment.
Right.
Live into moment. Live in like right now. Live in this space right now. Be the best you can be in this space right now. And tomorrow gonna come if it comes. Right. Then tomorrow's another chapter. Right.
But you wake up that morning, or when you spend that time for reflection, right? You make time for that. And you designate that time for that. So when you're not in that moment, you can enjoy the moment. But if you're not taking the time to reflect, whatever moment you want, you're gonna be in that moment reflecting on another moment, thinking about tomorrow, because you haven't took the time to do that yet. So the moment that you're in is taken away from that because you haven't took the time to do that. So it's like, until I figure that out, I gotta keep thinking about it. But like you said, I'm trying to move on. I already got that. Already took time to think about that. So I'm in this moment right now. Tomorrow gonna come. I know it is. I already thought about tomorrow. So while I'm in this moment right now, I'm not worried about tomorrow. But if I don't take that time to think about tomorrow before that moment comes, I'm gonna miss out on that.
Kind of organize it in your head,
Right.
About what
tomorrow's gonna bring, and it's a lot of mental exercise, man. That's something that.
So do you have a moment where you wish that you could have took something back?
Man, and not even take nothing back, but if I can do one thing all over again, I would go back to college. I would do that one more time. It took me a while to really kind of like relax in college and like really like live in the moment, because I was too worried about the NFL and making it, that I wasn't enjoying the moment. You know what I mean? Because I was too worried about making it to the NFL, and that was my focus. Like so I'm strictly here, like go to college and like no partying, no going out, no like socializing, and like something that's what college is for. Not saying like you want to be a party animal, but and not even necessarily about partying, but just like socializing with people and like going to like the college events and just being more involved with it, because you're more inclined with just the whole picture, not just being a football player, right? Like if I'm just, I just want to work out and eat good and go to sleep early, and it was a good focus, but at the end of the day, it's like, dang,
Missing the whole experience.
You're missing the experience of like college, and that's like the only time you can get that experience. You can't go back and be 20, 19, 20, 21, 22. You can never relive that time and go back and be that age again. Like, I can always take a vacation to the same country and same place over, and no matter how old I am, but like that's something I can never like go back and like be 21, be around a bunch of 20-year-olds that like we're all chasing the same thing away from home for the first time. We're all like trying to figure it out together. We're working together and partnering up with people you don't even know, trying to be successful and trying to do something. It's just like reflecting on that. It was like, man, I advise everybody to like go to college and just get that experience that's going to help you grow so much as a person, especially coming from like San Bernardino, where we come from, man.
And that's crazy too, because you speak of that, and you have a lot of households, and I like to always take it back to the household in the streets, and you have a lot of people that isolate themselves like that, within their own household,
right.
And they don't get to be able to really experience the joy
right.
outside of the household,
right.
Card fishing,
right.
like you do.
Right.
Feel me? So
right.
they're really not really enjoying life.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
And they isolated in prison. It's like their own little environment.
Yeah, you're isolating yourself, prisonizing yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't even cost much to go down to the lake. And it's not even about, it's just about taking that step to doing that. A lot of people they think money is everything, but to experience life doesn't cost that much.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Because anything you do outside of your norm is an experience for you. But you got to be able to do something that's not normal to you every day. You know what I mean? Like you said, a lot of people aren't willing to do that, so they'll never know. And
that's why I like the work that we do down in Rubidoux.
Right.
So especially with the mayor, newly mayor, Anthony Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
The new mayor down in the Rubidoux Valley. And that's a lot of things that we try to bring to Rubidoux, is try to come out of that. For many years we've been in that plan.
You still live out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still live out there.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that like we spoke on our purpose
right.
that brought me back there to
right.
be able to actually do the work that I do.
Right.
As far as giving back.
Right.
And educating.
Right.
And so I've always believed that we have to go back to where we would actually nest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody can't go into the trenches. You know what I'm saying? But they can get the money out of the trenches.
Yeah.
They say they doing all this service work, they doing all this support work
right.
and all that.
Right.
The money's not going back into the trenches. It's
right.
not going back into the community.
Right.
And like you say, and it comes down to, do I trust you?
Right.
You ain't gonna just trust somebody that don't
Not
live there.
Yeah,
just
never been there.
Never been there. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to tell you how to regulate how you should feel or what you're going through. They can't
right.
empathize with you.
Right.
So able to even when we go to the river bottom, they able to relate to us. We be able to empathize with them because most of them is people that we know.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So going back into I would say the desert like Moses and be able to educate them and grasp with them,
right.
bring them up. It's just a chosen few, and I believe that we was chosen to be able to do that.
Right. It's in your heart to do.
Yeah.
Which is, why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're following what's in your heart, and that's what you said, Phil, I need to go back.
Yeah.
I need to go back to the core of where I'm from. It's where the heart is, right? Home is where the heart is, and like you said, these are people that you know, and there's nothing like helping those people that,
And you have to be able to, you also have to be able to advance on that, although I can go back in, but I have to think about myself too. You know what I'm saying? I have to think about how can I be of a greater benefit.
Right.
And the greater benefit is doing what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And reaching those goals to be able to do more.
Mm-hmm.
For the community.
Right.
And be able to educate the community even more. But
right.
I have to be able to stay focused and do what I'm doing because
right.
it's not meant for everybody to go out and do this.
Right.
It's not meant for everybody. So sometimes I was telling one of the little partners, you know what? If you're the chosen one. You can't blame them for not. You know what I'm saying? They
right.
might not have it.
Right.
You're the chosen one to go out and do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And bring back.
Right.
Bring it back, then educate through
right.
through example. So
through example.
I think that's the important thing. Mm-hmm.
Definitely important, man. Definitely important.
Yeah. So I want to get back to Tracy. Tracy was a safety
I think so.
in
Yeah.
USC.
At USC, yeah. But he was there for what? He was there for 2 years?
I think he was there for 2. Did he do the 4? He was there for 2 years.
I think it was 2 before.
Yeah.
But I never even seen Tracy play, to be honest. I wish I could find some film.
Film on Tracy?
Yeah, I know. I seen a little bit of my pawpaw though, back in the days in Rubidoux.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen him play. It would be good to see some film on that.
In junior high school and all that basketball, it was all around.
Man.
Papa?
Yeah.
It was all around
Out there in Rubidoux, man.
Yeah, all around sports, you know.
Yeah, that's how it was, man. Track, basketball.
Yeah.
Did it all, man.
Yeah.
Did it all.
Did you run track in college?
No, I didn't. By the time, college is, it's rare that they allow you to do that, multiple sports. It get real tricky because they all selfish. Coaches are selfish, you know what I mean? It's like they want the best for you, but I just want you to play football. Track is cool, but, they don't really open up well too much to that. You know what I mean? Like as much you would think they do.
I want to go back there. I did a PowerPoint. I was in school in LA, in a college, vocational college. We had a PowerPoint assignment to do, and it was dealing with celebrities that actually fell down or actually got in trouble, right? And I did one on Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson, and Bill Cosby, and although like I say that because like in most sports, all they worried about management and all they're mad about is your talent, and how much money you can bring to sports, right?
Right.
But they don't look at the mentality or the core issues that's going on in here.
Right.
And on one of my PowerPoint that I wrote, the suburb compared to urban. You got the suburb, suburb mentality and urban attitude, right? And although we might reach this pinnacle in our life, but we still have all this in us that wasn't addressed. It's anger issues, resentment issues, these entitlement issues that have never been addressed because all we was known for is to show your talent.
Right.
And so I have wrote that, and I do really believe that a lot of celebrities that reach up here, these programs that we have, that we deal with, they give it to us in the urban area. We got to have these issues, go to anger management, domestic violence, AANA. So I was saying that sometimes this is in them as a child, as growing up, these anger issues. Now the football field, like you mentioned, the football field, I can bring this anger out on the football field.
And it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and knock it out on the football field.
Right.
But in our personal life, we can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to be able to understand and know that there are groups out there. There are programs out there to be able to deal with, because you have to have a balance of your life.
You have to.
You know, and to be able to deal with these issues that's going on instead of waiting until they flare up, then come back and say, you know what, I need help.
Right.
You know.
The biggest thing is for a man to admit that. First of all, being able to admit that you need help. If you can't do that, you're never going to get help. You have to really come to terms with yourself. Be honest and know what the issue is and that you need help. Like, no, it's good. And being a football player, being an athlete, being a man, being strong, you don't want to show that weakness, right? You don't want to portray a weakness or a weak sign of a man. So a lot of men won't even admit that they need help because they feel like if I need help, I'm weak. If I need to go talk to a psychiatrist or talk to a therapist or something like that, they feel like I'm weak for that as a man because I can't handle what I'm going through. I can't handle the life that I'm living. I need help. And a lot of guys don't reach out for that help, man, and it ends up backfiring because they end up releasing it the wrong way eventually, you know, and end up taking it out on their wife or the Ray Rice situation or something like that, which ultimately hurts you. And it's like, now you want to go get help. Yeah. You know, after the fact.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. So, man, what is your plans, man? You know what I mean? What is your plans going forward, man?
Man, I got some. I have a nonprofit, my Right House Foundation. So that's like constant work, just, going through the calendar, setting dates and events, and staying busy and with that, just trying to raise money and create these programs. We got a 86 bullying program that we're trying to implement in schools. It's a bullying program pretty much to find the suppressed kids that are being bullied and the ones that are bullying people. And school bullying is one of the biggest issues right now that's going on in schools. And so my team created this program to kind of help with that issue that's taking place right now. So that's like one of our missions that we're on right now, to do that. So hopefully we get it out to these schools and really make an impact with it. So it's a good one. I think it's a good idea. And I got a lot of young men who are able to willing to come out and speak to these kids and and help them with whatever it is that they're going through, to feel like they need to bully people, and then help those who are being bullied, help them deal with it and overcome it, without them doing violent things to themselves or doing violent things to others.
I appreciate that. All right, I'd just like to say, man, the work that you're doing is great, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And as the Inland Empire, you're a star, what I'm saying? So a role model that we can look up to, man. You got a lot of great insight, what I'm saying? And we appreciate your work, we appreciate your determination, your persistency to get to where you were in the NFL and be able to bring that back into the community and then leave your community.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're still grounded in the trenches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With us, man. And that's something that as a community, that's something that we appreciate.
Right.
And to me, that's consistency in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because most people get up there and they leave and it's just a wrap.
Right.
But to be able to come back and be able to be a part of the community, man,
Right.
is something that we need, not just as kids, but and teenagers and adults, knowing that we still have support here,
Right.
and you haven't forgot about us. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying, we really appreciate that, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, your work. We appreciate everything that you do, and that's from part of the community, man. And like I said, you're a positive example for us.
Thank you.
And we appreciate that, man.
Thank you. And it says a lot about the community for me to be able, for them to receive me and accept me, you know what I mean, and make me feel comfortable that I can come back and these people appreciate it. It's more the feedback that I get is what keeps me going a lot too. It's like, I really feel like people really appreciate it. So it's like the more I feel that, the more I want to do, the more people I want to reach out to. Because I know as long as they appreciate it, then it's good.
Excellent. So we want you back on here, man.
Yeah, I'll be back, man.
You know what I'm saying? On Urban Innovators.
Sorry, sorry. I'm doing this interview. I'm gonna call you guys back.
That's right. Hey.
I'm gonna call you right back. All right.
So we like I said, we appreciate it. We want you
man.
back on here on Urban Innovators Real Talk.
Yeah, definitely, man. Please have me back, man. Whenever, man.
Yeah,
like I said, it's a lot of stuff that we can talk about, man. And,
exactly.
Like really dive deep into, really making a difference and really changing society.
We're
because
gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep
consistency, man. I went to visit my old junior high. I go there every year and speak to them. And then last year they had me speak to a group of, probably this year, last year they had me speak to like a small group of like troubled kids. I said my nonprofit was started based on me wanting to do juvenile group homes. That's what I wanted to do in San Bernardino. I want to open up Right House juvenile like group homes for the kids, but they're trying to stop that. That's a whole different story. We'll talk about that another time. So ultimately I want to help troubled kids and give them the opportunity and pretty much provide a home and a family-style household to give them that life and help them understand, what family is really about and help them feel loved and wanted at home, to help them and give them the guidance that they need and really care for these kids. So that's kind of what. So they had me speak to these kids, and I went back and I asked about these kids, and I told them, like, if we can, let's do this again. Let me get lunch with these same kids and follow back and check up on them. And don't just, do it one time and have me come and lecture to them and not come back and check up on them and ask them, since I've talked to you, have things changed or what's been different, and how can I help you again or more to change things? What are something that you've experienced since then that just to be consistent with this, because it takes that. It can't. I mean, I can
Can't drop them off. Just take care of it and then just drop them off.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You gotta keep feeding it to them. You gotta keep fertilizing those seeds that you plant.
One thing you got a spot here. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
that's the way that we get the word out. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you want to come back, you know what I'm saying, you welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Sit down here, we'll chop it up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
We'll do it. And we'll make it happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Urban Innovators Real Talk Social Media. I'm your host, Greg. I'm here with our Empire NFL star, Shareece Wright.
Yeah,
So I'm saying
appreciate
this
it.
is how we do it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Out of the trenches.
Out of the trenches.
Peace. All right.
Nice, man.